pass. At this time, let's introduce the defensive starters for the University of Rochester Yellow Jackets. Correction, the offensive starters. At wide receiver, number 2, Noah Shinneman. And number one, Elijah Underwood. The left tackle, number 73, Alex Berselli. At left guard, number 64, Eddie Niles. The center, number 50, Nick Anacino. The right guard, number 62, Luke Wilson. At right tackle, number 77, Jacob Roccabarona. At tight end, number 83, Ethan Herbold. At wide receiver, number 17, Liam McManus. At running back, number 23, Daniel Papatonis. And at quarterback, number 15, Sean Casey. The head coach of the Rochester Yellow Jackets is Chad Martinovich. The officials for this afternoon's game: the referee is Brian Finn. Umpire Justin Hilbert. Head linesman is Lance Deffler. The line judge, Steve Campbell. The side judge, Frank Parker. The field judge is James Quantz. The back judge, Derek Quirello. The game clock operator, Michael Mentis. And the play clock operator is Ron Vero.
I just looked at my wrist, I got time today. Get on crossing the line today. The hate be so real, the love be fake. Be bumping they gums and bumping my tape. Don't go against me, they ask for my help. Go get out your feelings and get it yourself. Might got the same shoes, but you ain't gon' step. That you just put out, you could've kept. Yup, he got a shirt. Why? You can't compete when you can't compare. She ate the through my underwear. Got up and got herself out of there. I see they put me on memes and things. Don't speak on my life without knowing the real. 8 figures a year, what it cost me to live. Don't hold it, just say what you feel. But watch your mouth before I fly at you. To a place that she didn't know exists. Mediterranean water, my wrist, head cheaper than
Please welcome the engineers. afternoon, football fans, and welcome to Rensselaer and East Campus Athletic Village and East Campus Stadium for today's matchup between the University of Rochester and your Rensselaer Engineers. And now, we direct your attention to the north end zone, and let's meet the starting defensive unit for the RPI Engineers. At defensive end, number 11, C.J. Shoemaker. At defensive tackle, number 94, Connor Ahern. The nose guard, number 63, Mark Anderson. At Rovers, number 4, Magnus Wamble. The linebackers, number 6, Dennis DeChico. Number 10, Austin Charles. And number 45, Joe Deptula. At cornerback for the Engineers, number 2, C.J. Lyons. The free safety, number 5, Francis Perry. The strong safety, number 35, Spencer Brockdorf. And at cornerback, number 8, Chris Gomes. And the rest of the Engineers, led by their head coach, Ralph Isernia. Officials have called the captains to midfield for the coin toss. Rensselaer captains, number 2, Vinnie McDonald, number 9, Amechi Conquo, number 10, Austin Charles, and number 11, George Marinopoulos.
All right. Got a coin. Army is heads, freedom is tails. I'll ask you to call it before I flip it.
Tails.
Tails is called. It's a head. RPI, you've won. RPI is won and defers to the second half. You want the ball. Which end do you want to defend? Okay, turn your back this way. All right, guys, good luck.
RPI won the coin toss, deferred their decision to the second half. They will kick off and defend the south end zone. The University of Rochester will receive the opening kickoff. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask your indulgence for a moment. Robert Scooney Schoonmaker passed away this past Wednesday. Scooney served as an RPI football coach from 2003 to 2008, was an excellent role model to our student athletes. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends during this difficult time. And now we ask that you all take a part in a moment of silence to honor Scooney. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor and respect our country and the men and women who have served and continue to serve America, we ask that you stand, remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem by the RPI Pep Band.
These two teams played, and it was a blowout for the RPI in RPI's favor. And frankly, RPI has owned the rivalry here for the last decade as we get ready for the kickoff.
Before the national anthem, RPI won the toss. They elected to defer their selection to the second half, so RPI will be kicking off to Rochester to start today's game. It's RPI going right to left, Rochester left to right across the radio dial in this first quarter of play. And again, you are listening to WRPI Troy, 91.5 FM on your radio dial, as it is almost exactly noon here in the Eastern time zone. That is McDougal getting ready to kick the ball away.
It's about 67 degrees. Partly sunny skies, maybe a slight wind from the south, which is from the right to left.
McDougal boots it. Looks like Penman's going to take it at the 1 yard line. 5, 10, 15 to the 20. He's hit there, and right around the 21, they'll mark him. So it'll be Rochester first and 10 at their own 21 to start out today's game.
Cam Youngener, number 0, in with the big hit just at the 20-yard line to start the ball game. And we look at the Rochester offense. They didn't score a single point really against Brockport last time out. The one Yellow Jacket score was on a fumble return by the defense. They are a balanced offense, pretty much 50-50 in terms of passing and running yards. They're going to run a single running back and 3 wide receivers and a tight end most of the time, and we see them come right out here on the first set with 4 wide. Probably be in that formation a lot today.
Curious, that final score, the Rochester-Brockport score, that was 16-7 in Brockport's favor. And we're going to get a handoff on first down, taken by Will Varney, and he goes right. He gets out to about the 24-yard line.
Will Varney and Daniel Papantonis, they're 2 featured running backs, coming in at about 296 yards through 3 games for Papantonis, 155 for Varney.
Pickup of 3 makes it 2nd and 7 for the Yellow Jackets, and following up on that Brockport game, that was 7-6 until the fourth quarter, I believe. And I think Brockport then picked up 10 points to get the win in that game. Fake the handoff. This is nope. It's going to be kept by Casey, and he's going to get spun around and thrown down at the 27-yard line. He picks up about 3 more yards, but it'll be a 3rd and 4 for the Rochester Yellow Jackets.
Kind of a run option play there, faking the handoff left and keeping it off right tackle.
4 wide out formation for Casey, the quarterback for Rochester. He's got Varney in the backfield behind him. There's 2 receivers on each side. 13:45 to go here, first quarter, no score, first possession of the game. Rochester first series of downs in today's game. Casey is going to throw, and that'll be incomplete. Pasquale was the intended receiver around the 35. He was bumping it was tight coverage with the defender. They were bumping each other. It was both ways, and it
Dennis
goes incomplete.
DeSico, the linebacker. When the ball was in the air, there was contact. I was kind of spying to see if a flag would come out, but it did not. The ball was also kind of thrown high, so maybe no play on it anyway.
Alex Wing comes out to punt for Rochester, and now we'll get a whistle. What are we looking at here? The yard markers. Okay, so the yard markers got moved. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, the guy on the first down side of the marker, if you will, the beginning point, for some reason had moved up 4 yards. So
There was a correction
no harm,
with
no
the
foul,
change.
right?
They moved
Fourth down and 5
prematurely.
still for
We've
the
reset
26.
them.
So they just have to adjust the play clock at this point. It was an incomplete pass, so the clock wasn't running, but the play clock has to go to 25 now. The chain crew is a little bit anxious to move downfield on what we expect to be a punt from Alex Wing. Gets the snap, boots it. Spellman takes it at the 34 and immediately gets hit, and that's it. That's Weirin, Simon Weirin, who hit Spellman almost immediately, pushes him back. But RPI will have the ball for the first time today. 13:30 to go first quarter, no score.
Yeah, terrific coverage there by Rochester. Give you a chance to set the uniforms here. RPI, and they're all red today. Red pants, red jerseys, black numbers, black helmets with red RPI on the helmet. Rochester, their primary colors are navy blue and gold. They have navy helmets with the gold Rochester R on the helmet, white jerseys, blue numbers, and navy blue pants.
Very easy to read the Rochester numbers.
Right.
Big fan of these uniforms. First and 10, RPI at their own 31. No score in today's game. Pass in the flat to Lombardi. Complete to the right side, to the 35, to the 40. Pushed out, round the first. Where did he step out? The officials got him at the 41, which is close to a first down.
It's just kind of a swing pass, and you know what? That play was really helped out on a good block on the end by Vinnie McDonald, number 2, the wide receiver who was out there. Kept his man contained and allowed Lombardi to get around right in, because that could have gone for nothing. Instead, it goes for a first down.
First and 10, RPI at their own 41. 13:05 to go first quarter, no score. Single wide out to each side. You got a man in the slot on the left, tight end on the right. Marinopoulos hands off on first down, running along the 40-yard line and taken down around the 44. That is Munoz Watts, who is back in action for RPI.
Play started up the middle. He saw nothing. He tried to go wide to the left, but good containment coverage by Rochester. They just kept stringing him out until he kind of ran out of room near the sideline, brought down at the 43.
And I say back in action because Munoz Watts has missed the last 2 games. And I believe McDonald has also missed the last 2 games. So they are both in there now for RPI. Second and 8, gain of 2 for Munoz Watts on that play. Marinopoulos has time, puts it up, looking, and that should be complete to 35 to Palmer. Yeah, he's got it. Got 1 foot in at the 35, and that's at the 35 of Rochester. That's another RPI first down.
He just ran down the field, kind of faked as an inside cut and then cut outside, and had lots of room to make the catch. Perfect throw by Marinopoulos.
First and 10 Engineers at the Rochester 35, 12 to go first quarter. No score. RPI moving the ball well on this series. Started out at their own 31. They are now at the Rochester 35. 2 receivers very wide on each side. Marinopoulos to Munoz Watts. Goes straight up the middle, finds a hole, and he is down to the 28.
RPI, of course, gets most of its yardage in the air, but establishing the run is always key to keep the defense honest.
Quick snap on second down, and it goes to Lombardi along the left side, and he steps out of bounds at the 21, and that's another RPI first down.
Sort of a wide screen there with the block set up by number 10, Sterling Walker-Sutton, allowing Lombardi to make the catch.
Again, wideout stacked on each side. As RPI, this is not a formation I recall seeing in the first 4 games this year.
Yeah, very wide, almost to the sideline, either left or right. We've got a flag here.
I think this is a sideline violation against Rochester.
Sideline warning on the University of Rochester.
Okay. So they have to stay outside the box that's reserved for the officials. They had moved into that. So it's only a warning the first time. There's no penalty. RPI back to the line. First and 10 at the Rochester 21. Lombardi goes in motion to the right. Marinopoulos gives Munoz watch. He's got room. Cuts right, down straight ahead, inside the 15, down to the 14. That's a pickup of 8.
And that gain made possible by the fact that Rochester's just playing the pass and trying to be worried about the pass. So there's a lot of room up the middle for Munoz Watts to negotiate and get inside the 15.
RPI looking over at the sideline on this 2nd down and 3.
Going with no huddle again.
They were snapping the ball pretty quickly in a couple of plays. Now they're down to 7 seconds left on the play clock here. Marinopoulos fakes the handoff, throws. That is complete. 15 and maybe close to a first down. McDonald is stopped around the 13, in between the 13 and the 12, and it looks like.
He was kind of in the slot on the right side, a swing pass off to the right, but give the Yellow Jackets defense credit there. They got to the ball in a hurry. 4 guys converging and preventing the Engineers from getting a first down.
3rd and 1 RPI. Ball's on the 12 of Rochester. Munoz Watts is in the backfield. 2 wideouts on the left. Man in the slot on the right, that's McDonald. Marinopoulos looks to throw, looking end zone, and overthrows his man. That goes incomplete.
Good coverage there by Rochester. There was RPI sent out 4 receivers to the end zone, and pretty much each one of them was covered. Nobody really open. That's going to set up down now. 4th down and 1.
RPI
12,
keeps,
and they're going to go for it.
Yeah, RPI keeps the offense out there. Palmer was the intended receiver on that play, but it was over his head.
Now they're quarterback looking to the sidelines, making sure they got the right play here. Looked like they were going to try a quick snap, but now resetting.
Again, they've got the wide receivers near the sidelines. Munoz Watts in the backfield. Marinopoulos looks to throw. Wide open end zone. Touchdown. Engineers lead 6-0. Palmer gets it in the end zone.
Boy, big miscommunication there by the Rochester defense. They had 2 defenders out there with the 2 RPI receivers wide right, but the inside man, the inside defender, broke towards the middle instead of staying with his man and leaving the Engineers wide open for the touchdown. Just an easy pass and catch for the first score of the game.
McDougal out to try the extra point. Monteith is the holder for RPI. Snap, spots down, the kick is up. Kick is plenty good. We have 9:15 to go here, first quarter. RPI 7, Rochester nothing.
Couldn't ask for more, really, on that opening drive for the Engineers. They just marched it right down, had no problem whatsoever with the Rochester defense. Here we were, Kurt, at the pregame talking about how well Rochester had played defensively last time out against Brockport. But I tell you, the Engineers had really no problem whatsoever moving the ball on their first possession.
Well, this is where you get into that. You've now had, well, Rochester's played 3 games, RPI 4. You're now seeing game film of these teams. Early in the season, a lot of unknowns with so many people haven't played, people staying around for an extra year, a lot of unknowns. Now that you've seen game tape, RPI is showing formations they weren't running earlier this year. And obviously they're running those formations because they think they'll be effective against what they saw for Rochester's defense so far.
Right, especially that what they came out in several times there was 4 wide receivers, 2 far left, 2 far right, and often lined up in a stacked formation, almost one right behind the other. And that was giving Rochester lots of coverage problems.
And was that a fair catch? Yes, a fair catch by Penman at the 8-yard line, and that moves it out to the 25. Okay, so we're rarely seeing this play. If you're deep in your own territory, if you're taking it at the 1, you can fair catch it and take it at the 25. It's the same, the touchback, and we almost never see players do that these days. But Rochester just did it.
Right. Not something that was even available as an option in football long ago.
Right.
Rule change, yeah.
I mean, they wanted to get rid of people. They were trying
violent
to
collisions on kickoffs.
Yes, they're sort of trying to reduce the kickoffs, but as it turns out, most teams were not even taking the opportunity to take the touchback. 1st and 10 at the 25. Varney gets the handoff. He goes left, and he's going to be stopped at the 29.
first conference game of the year, not only for these two teams, but also Hobart, Ithaca, Union, Buffalo State. So Liberty League swinging into play, sort of the real season getting underway in the first week of October.
2nd and 6, ball to 29 for the Yellow Jackets. 2 receivers on the right. Casey fakes the handoff, puts it up in the air. It's and down at the 42, and that'll be a first down for Rochester.
Peyton Monaco, who's listed as a backup quarterback with the reception there, and really nice play by the Yellow Jackets. Kind of sent 2 receivers out to the right. Monaco was the underneath receiver. He cut to the sideline, and he was wide open for that catch.
I was betrayed by my cheat sheet. He's not listed under the eligibles. He's listed under the quarterbacks. 4 wide receiver formation. 1st and 10, Rochester at their own 42. 8:10 to go, first quarter, 7-0 RPI leads. And Monaco's going to take the handoff, and he's actually going to trip over his own feet, and he's going to fall down after a gain of about 2.
Holding.
Got a flag.
Offense,
First flag
number
of the game.
77.
Holding against Rochester. Brian Finn is the referee for today's game. So Monaco just went down on his own.
Holding penalty against Rochester. Moves the ball back to the 32-yard line. First down and 20.
It'll be a first down once again for Rochester. 1st and 20 at their own 32. 4 receiver formation. Casey drops back. Now he's going to run for it, and he's going to get stopped around the 42-yard line. Nope, 37, pardon me. I counted that wrong. At the 37. Rochester able to get a first down as this drive started, but then they got backed up 10 yards on the holding call on the subsequent play. That first down they earned. And now they're at a 2nd and 15 at their own 37-yard line.
All right, I tell you, this first half of the season, the Engineers' defense has just been really clicking well, Kurt. I mean, not allowing much to anybody out there, any offense that they've seen so far.
RPI just barely gets back on time. Handoff goes to Varney, heading left, and he picks up about 4 to the 41 to set up a 3rd and 11.
Interesting set there by the Yellow Jackets. They stacked 3 receivers in a group on the far right, hoping that would create some misdirection, and they ran the ball off left tackle.
So it'll be 3rd and 11 for Rochester. Trying to find their way onto RPI's side of the field. Casey out of the shotgun. He's going to sling it downfield to nobody. Yeah, there was nobody there. Shinneman was the closest person, but he was about 5 yards away when the ball landed.
He was running along the yardage markers on the left, along the numerals on the left, and he actually had a step on his man, but the ball was just kind of thrown into the middle of the field, like you say, kind of no man's land.
Alex Wing will come out to punt once again for Rochester. Spellman is back at his own 25-yard line. Gets the snap, kick is away. Spellman has to back up. Decent kick to the 18, 20, 25. Spellman's now swarmed under at the 28-yard line. RPI will take over there. 6:16 to go, first quarter. RPI 7, Rochester nothing.
Really coming out on the second possession here, really impressive first possession for the Engineers. 9 plays, 69 yards, driving for the touchdown, picked up 4 first downs along the way, culminating in the 12-yard pass from Marinopolis to Palmer for the game's first score. So impressive first drive for the Engineers. See what they have here on the second timeout.
A more standard offensive set for RPI. Single wideouts each side, slot man on the left, tight end on the right. Now McDonald shifts towards the middle. Handoff goes to Burnett, and Burnett's going to get out to the 34.
his first carry of the afternoon.
Burnett was the starter when Munoz Watts was out due to injury. Prior to that, he was the second person, RPI rotating backs normally during games. Receivers all on the left this time for RPI. Second down and 3 from the 35. They'll fake the handoff. Marinopoulos rolls out to his left and then throws. It's incomplete. Looking for Allison, who immediately got hit, and that was also in double coverage. That was kind of a dangerous pass there.
Yeah, rolling to his left. He was trying to look deep, but everybody was covered deep, so he tried to throw underneath to the tight end and misfired a little bit high there.
5 wide out formation for RPI on this third down and 3 at the 35-yard line. Marinopoulos looking left. He has Allison and overthrows Allison at the 40-yard line, and the punt team is coming out for RPI.
Well, and the reason he overthrew him is thanks to the Rochester defensive lineman, Nicholas Petrozzulo, who was coming in with a head full of steam, and Marinopoulos had an open man on the left sideline, but he had to hurry the throw, and he just sailed it all the way to the sideline, and it'll force a 4th down punt here by the Engineers, their first of the afternoon.
Monaco back deep to get this punt. He's at his own 25. Moncrief to kick. Flag comes out right as the ball was snapped. Monaco, well positioned, takes us up to 21-yard line, rolls along the 25, and now he's pulled down at the 25, and we'll have to go back and see what this flag is.
Right at the line of scrimmage. We've got an Engineer down.
Yes, so we've
on
got
the far hash mark at the 20. Can't quite tell yet who it is. They're looking at his left knee as he's lying down. That's why we can't really pick up the number.
An illegal alignment on the defense. He was lined up over the center. 5-yard penalty.
Well, we're going to have an automatic RPI first down, by the way, Kurt. There's a defense illegal line over the center. It's the call from the refs, and with 4th down and just 3 to go, that's going to make it for an automatic first down for the Engineers now at their own 40.
We had this last week. Ed DeGarian spotted this right as the flag came out. You can't line up over the center anymore on these types of plays when you have a kicking play, like obvious kicking formation, kicking play. And it's an illegal procedure, which is weird to see a referee call illegal procedure then point to the defense, or illegal formation, I should say, and point to the defense, but that's what the call was here. So it was only 3 yards to go for a first down. The penalty itself is not an automatic first down, but the 5 yards gives RPI a first down. So they have it 1st and 10 at their own 40. We have 5:20 to go here. First quarter, RPI 7, Rochester nothing.
Big mistake by Rochester. Now let's see if RPI can capitalize on it.
Single wideouts each side. Marinopoulos on the handoff. That's going to be stopped at the 43-yard line. Really nothing there. Burnett is still back in there as the running back for RPI, but not a lot of room for him to work with.
Yeah, Engineers, okay start with the running game, 6 carries for about 35 yards, but it sounds better than it is. If you take away that 10-yard run by Lombardi.
Three receivers on the right as RPI's heavy to that side to give us to Burnett. He runs that way. He kind of gets caught from behind and is stopped after a gain of 1. That was Petrozzello who caught him from behind. That'll make it 3rd and 6 for RPI. So the second drive for RPI is a little bit tougher of a slog than the first one. Receivers to the left. Tight end on the right. Man in the slot on the left. Burnett in the backfield. 3rd down and 6. Fake the handoff to Burnett. Marinopoulos throws and over McDonald. He got a hand on it, but he couldn't grab it. And it goes incomplete, and it'll be 4th down RPI, and it looks like the punt team is coming out this time to really punt.
And boy, oh boy, was McDonald wide open down at the Rochester 35. There was a mix-up in Rochester's defensive secondary, and not the first time today we've seen that, where their players get crossed on who exactly is going to cover the deep man. McDonald was wide open. Marinopoulos overthrew him. Why? Again, because Rochester's defensive front, kind of covering for the secondary, got enough pressure on RPI to force the Marinopoulos to do a quick throw and overthrow his man.
Moncrief gets the punt away. Monaco has to retreat back to his own 6-yard line. 10 along the sideline, runs out of bounds at the 15. That's where Rochester will have it. 3:50 to go here, first quarter. RPI 7, Rochester nothing.
And so quick thoughts on that second possession for RPI, Kurt, which was not as effective, of course, as the first one. They're running a lot more stuff in the middle. Didn't come up with those unusual formations. That first possession, they're running a lot of stuff very wide and getting around the corners and just moving the ball down the field. Didn't go with that so much the second time around.
Sean Casey takes his team out there for the third Rochester possession of the game. Handoff. Varney's going to get stopped at the 20 for a pickup of 5.
And we have not seen their leading rusher, Daniel Papantonis, so far in this game. Not sure why, but Varney's been the featured back so far. The Rochester Yellow Jackets in 2 possessions, just 1 first down. So the Engineers really sharp defensively coming out here in the first quarter.
2nd and 5 at the 20, and Varney takes the handoff, spins backwards. Somebody lost a helmet. That's from the Rochester offensive line. He has to go off the field, and
Number
the play gets him about 2
62
yards out to
for
the
Rochester
22.
has to leave for 1 play. His helmet came off.
So the rule is you lose your helmet, not because of an illegal action by the opposition, you sit a play, unless your team takes a timeout. 3rd down and 2 at the 23-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. 2 receivers each side, Varney in the backfield. Casey out of the shotgun. Looks left all the way, pass, that is complete. That'll be a first down, 30. Down to the 34 is Pasquale. Is it Qual or Quail? Quali. It's Pasquale.
Pasquale, yeah. And you know, one thing that I looked at in the lineups when we came out here today, Kurt, is Rochester has some really big receivers. I was wondering if they would try to take advantage of that. They've got some tall guys out there. Pasquale's 6'5", Herbold 6'3", Shinneman is 6'3", McManus is 6'3".
Varney gets the handoff on first down, and he'll get caught a little bit behind the line of scrimmage trying to go left.
And generally speaking, the RPI linebackers, defensive secondaries, not quite that tall. And I was wondering if that would be an option of attack for Rochester, using that height advantage to go to their big receivers. They haven't done it so far this afternoon, in the first quarter anyway.
No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10, they'll call it, a little bit behind the 35-yard line right now for the Yellow Jackets. So we're winding down here in the first quarter, RPI leading 7-0. Fake the handoff. Casey rolls to his left, pass, that is complete, and Pasquale is out at about the 40-yard line?
Yep.
40-ish?
Yeah, again, the tight end kind of just starting to block and then breaking off to his left, a little short pass, short gainer. Again, they haven't gone very deep with much of anything in the passing attack so far in the first quarter.
And now what do we have? We have a timeout.
Timeout for an injury.
And it was kind of muffled, the announcement.
Yes,
I couldn't quite hear the announcement on
I didn't
for the
I didn't
stoppage.
see a
Yeah.
Oh, injury. Okay, the training staff was out to look at McDonald. I thought he might have said that.
Or rather, C.J. Lyons, but yeah.
Oh, yes, Lions, thank you. Yes, McDonald is 2 on offense, Lions is 2 on defense. Third down and 5 at the 40-yard line for Rochester. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Varney in the backfield. Casey's going to run with it. 40. Casey, 45. He's got a first down. Casey's to the 50, and Rochester's down to the RPI 48. First down, first time in RPI territory today.
Well, nice play call by the Yellow Jackets and nice execution. They had wide receivers out either side and they went deep, but it was obviously a quarterback draw with Casey, and he had enough room off the right side. Got hit once short of the 50, but just kind of glanced off of that and kept going across the 50, and enough for the first down for Rochester at the RPI 48.
Rochester, Sean Casey's the quarterback. Will Varney has started at running back. Liam McManus, Elijah Underwood, and Noah Shinneman are the wide receivers. First down for Rochester. Changing the running back. Is that Iannachi with the carry this time? Yes.
Number 39, yep.
Yes, Iannachi with the carry gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. So no gain for Rochester there. The line, Alec Berselli, Eddie Niles, Nick Anacino, Luke Wilson, and Jacob Rocabruna are the line up front for Rochester. That is their offense. Rochester doesn't have to run this play as the first quarter is going to expire. They're just going to let time run out. 7-0 RPI leads after one quarter here in Troy.
First quarter.
Well, we look at some of the first half stats. It's fairly even. Rochester, 37 rushing yards, RPI 36. Receiving yards, Rochester 31, RPI 44. First downs, 3 for the Yellow Jackets and 5 for the Engineers. Passing, Rochester 3 of 5, no interceptions. RPI 4 of 8, no interceptions. Again, the biggest development in the first quarter was the 69-yard drive for a touchdown for the Engineers on their first possession. A 12-yard pass from Marinopolis to DJ Palmer on 4th down and 1 from the 12. Hit him wide open in the right side of the end zone when there was a mix-up in coverage by the Yellow Jackets defensive secondary, leading to the game's only score so far.
Teams will switch sides. It'll be Rochester going right to left, RPI left to right across your radio dial in quarter number 2. It is mostly cloudy here in Troy. Supposed to get into the 70s, I was seeing 75 at one point. I don't think it's ever going to feel like 75 with the wind blowing and the cloud cover. But we're not expecting any adverse weather here in the capital region today. 15 minutes on the scoreboard. Second quarter underway. Rochester second down and about 10. Casey rolls left, tosses one downfield, and that is complete. It is complete. I don't know how he caught that. McManus gets it, and he's down to the 5-yard line. Coverage on that was by Carlos Davis. He was all around him, but somehow McManus made the catch.
Well, McManus got behind him, and it was a good 2 steps behind him, and it was wide open, but McManus had to wait for the ball to arrive. Davis made up the difference, and as you say, got right in his face as the ball was arriving, but McManus, terrific concentration. First time they've gone to what we mentioned in the first quarter, one of their tall receivers. They have a height advantage in that area.
Handoff to Varney on first down, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Youngener came in to the backfield and grabbed him from behind.
Longest play of the game right there for either squad.
Rochester, they'll lose 1 on that play. Second and goal at the 6. 7-0 RPI leads. 14:05 to go here in the first half. Varney's in the backfield behind Casey. Schuneman is the wide receiver to the left, and there'll be a timeout here. Was that Rochester called the timeout?
Yep.
Timeout, Rochester. That's their first timeout of the half.
Second down and goal from the 6. And, we haven't seen this team yet this year. We're wondering what their red zone offense will be like. We mentioned in the first quarter, one advantage that the Yellow Jackets do have is height advantage. Their receivers versus the RPI secondary. You've got guys like McManus 6'3", Herbold 6'3", Pasquale 6'5". I would be curious to see if they're going to look for a matchup with one of their bigger guys on one of the Engineers' defensive backs, who's generally run about 6 even, 6'1", and just try to use that to their advantage. Again, this threat set up by the longest play of the game so far, a 43-yard completion from Sean Casey to Liam McManus.
So we're back to play. Second and goal from the 6-yard line. As the Rochester timeout is over with, Casey has Will Varney in the backfield behind him. Receivers to the left. Varney takes it, and nope, that was Casey. Good fake. Casey dives for the pylon, and he's got it. That's a touchdown.
All right, great execution by the quarterback, Sean Casey there. They fake the inside handoff to Varney, and he comes off the left side, and he just had a wall of blockers, all his receivers there. And I think it was Shinneman. Yeah, Noah Shinneman, number 2, really had the key block, kind of by the numbers on the left side, kind of walling off 2 guys at once and allowing Casey to get around the left end and just dive for the pylon, kind of put the ball on the pylon for the touchdown.
Bombrace out to try the extra point. That is up and good. Shane Bombrace, the kicker for UR, and it's tied at 7 with 13:52 to go here in the first half.
Well, you know, a first quarter that was pretty much dominated by the Engineers on both sides of the ball. All of a sudden we're even, and the big reason why was the long pass play, 43 yards from Casey to Shinneman, which set the ball up at the RPI 10, which completely kind of changed the dynamic and the feel of the game here. All of a sudden gave Rochester a lot of momentum. They end up punching it in on a keeper by Casey, and now we're all even, 7-7. 13:52 to go in the half. RPI will now get its first possession of the second quarter. They'll be going left to right into a very slight wind. Weather Channel says it's about 7 miles an hour, slightly blowing south to north. So Rochester will be kicking with a little bit of a wind aid here as they line up for the kickoff.
Bombrace, the kicker for Rochester. Number 72, you don't see that very often from a kicker. Boots it. This one goes deep into the end zone, and RPI take a knee right there.
Yeah, and perhaps aided by the wind, he really got his foot into that one, driving it about 3 or 4 yards deep. So the Engineers will start now, tied at 7-7. Third possession of the game, a really crisp, well-moving first possession, moved right down the field, 69 yards for a touchdown. Second possession, not so much. Kind of bottled up most of the time, couldn't get anything going. They did get a first down aided by a Rochester penalty, but really didn't have any flow at all to that second possession.
Walker Sutton took the knee for RPI on that kickoff return. He was in the end zone, doesn't matter. If you've been at the 1, you still could get it to the 25 on the play. First down for RPI at the 25-yard line. Marinopoulos doesn't see anything downfield, starts running with it, and he's going to slide down at the 30 and pick up 5.
Well, his main target was Lombardi, who was far left and running deep. He was about at the Rochester 40, but he was double covered, so there's no way to hit him. A smart move by Marinopoulos to just pull the ball down and scramble for whatever you could get there on first down.
Second and 5, RPI. George Marinopoulos, the quarterback for RPI's offense. Delano Munoz Watts is the running back. Wide receivers are Vinny McDonald, Sterling Walker Sutton, and Peter Lombardi. Tight end Kenny Schrader. Second down and 5 at the 30. And RPI is going to run this straight up the middle. Big hole for Munoz Watts. He's to the 50 and pushed down at the 48 of Rochester.
22-yard pickup. That's the longest gain of the afternoon for RPI. Kind of set up, really, Kurt, by that double wide receivers on either side, left the middle wide open for the running play.
First and 10 Engineers at the Rochester 48, 12:45 to go, first half. We are tied at 7 here at the East Campus Stadium in Troy.
Boy, he's got 2 wide receivers wide right with only 1 defensive back covering him. I don't know if they could see that right here, and actually at the top of the field as well.
Yeah. RPI is going to run it straight ahead. Munoz Watts vaults over somebody, and he gets down to about the 42.
It's almost as if maybe Rochester doesn't think RPI is going to run deep routes out of that formation, but on either side of the field, RPI had 2 guys wide left and wide right, but there was only 1 defensive back lined up on coverage on either side. Now a more conventional lineup here for RPI on second down.
Second and call it 3 at the 41-yard line. Engineers will send Lombardi in motion. Marinopoulos throws, and is that complete? Yeah, I think Walker Sutton was able to grab it off. It hit off him, and then he was able to grab it at the 35, and that'll be a first down.
Nice recovery by Walker Sutton. It did hit him. It was almost like he tried to run before he had the ball, so he didn't grab it, but it bounced off his pads, and he was able to quickly collect it and make the catch and get enough down to the 35 for the first down.
Noah Braid on the tackle there for Rochester. Danny Beckenhuis, Rick Demboski, Thomas O'Lawson, Garrett Farmer, and Luke Koschel are the line up front for RPI's offense. First and 10 RPI, 7-all is the score here in the second quarter. RPI first and 10 at the 35 for Rochester. Marinopoulos under pressure, and he's going down back at the 32.
Big pressure by the Yellow Jackets there. No time to throw whatsoever for Marinopoulos. Several guys in on the tackle there, maybe led by Joe DeBonis, the linebacker out of Rochester, New York.
Loss of 2 on that play. Second and 12 for RPI. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. And Rochester jumped across the line. I don't see a flag. Marinopoulos is under pressure. Now he's got to run with it 35. Marinopoulos is going to go down to 31. So they're going to say Rochester, they moved, but they didn't actually cross into the neutral zone. No flags on the play, and RPI's got a third and about 6. 3rd and 7.
4-man rush, and they really got to Marinopoulos quickly. He didn't even really have time to set his feet and look for a receiver before he just had to kind of scramble out of the pocket and get what you could and avoid a sack and at least get across the line of scrimmage.
Coming up on 10 to go here in the first half. RPI and Rochester tied at 7. 3rd and 7 at the 32. Engineers single wideouts each side. Tight end on the left, man in the slot on the right. And Munoz Watch is going to take the carry. Now he's going to cut left, 30, 25. That's a first down. Munoz Watch is tripped up around the 22 by Abdul Ba, but it's a first down for RPI.
Well, nice read of the play by Munoz Watts. He got the handoff, and it was headed for the middle. Saw that just completely walled up and saw the left side wide open and made a beeline for the sideline and was able to get the first down.
First and 10 RPI at the 21 of Rochester. Tied at 7, 9:25 to go, first half. Single receiver each side. Munoz Watch to the left of Marinopoulos in the backfield. Now Lombardi's going to move towards the middle. Marinopoulos wants to throw over the middle. That is complete to Allison. To the 15, he's down to the 10. It'll be a first and goal, RPI.
Nice little route there by Allison. Had RPI receivers running deep on either side. He just cut under the coverage in the middle about 5 yards down and was also able to extend it with a nice run down to the 10-yard line.
First and goal, Engineers. 8:50 to go. First half, tied at 7. RPI looking to break the tie at this point. Touchdown on their first possession, stopped on their second. This is RPI's 3rd possession of the game. Two receivers right, one to the left. Munoz Watts takes it. He's down to about the 7. Ran into a whole bunch of guys. Caden Cole was the man who got a grab on him.
Had an opening at the beginning of the play, but Rochester really closed the gap there, did not allow Munoz Watts to get very far with that one.
Jack DiPolito, Bradley Beckwith, Nick Petrozello, and Joe DeBonis are the line up front for Rochester's defense. Linebackers are Braden Bush, Caden Cole, and Adam Huey. Engineers second and goal from about the 7. Munoz Watts has it. He's not going to make his way in. He's going to be stopped right around the 5-yard line.
Started right up the middle, looked to see a little gap off left tackle, kind of adjusted and cut left. But Rochester reacting quickly and closing the gap and pulling him down at about the 5.
Rochester's cornerbacks are Abdul Ba and Joey Moore, and the safeties are Jack Yensel and Simon Weirin.
Engineers sending 4 receivers out there, although not in the stack formation that they were using in the first quarter, more of a traditional 2 guys wide on either side.
I'm not how sure how useful that is when you're closer to the goal line.
Oh,
and
got a stoppage here.
I think Coach Izernia called a timeout.
It looks as
Timeout.
though that
RPI, that's
Yep.
the first time out of the half.
RPI called a timeout. 7:09 to go first half, tied at 7.
seemed to be a little uncertainty right before the timeout call. Marinopolis was looking over to the sideline. Lombardi was kind of in a slot and then moved farther out at the last second, out farther to the left, and finally the coaching staff deciding to just call a timeout and get reset here. It's a really crucial play, 3rd down and goal from the 5. Ball game tied at 7 with 7:09 to go in the first half.
RPI went for it on 4th down on their touchdown drive. Is this a 4-down situation here?
And you're looking at total yards so far in this game, RPI 150, Rochester 116. Really, the Engineers' attack has been a lot more methodical and good, and for gains on most plays. Rochester had the big long pass play, which boosted their chances on that last possession, got it down to the 10-yard line and got the tying score. But the Engineers have been the team that have been able to move the ball steadily down the field a lot better so far this afternoon.
3rd and goal, RPI at the 5. So 2 receivers right, 1 left. Munoz watches in the backfield, and I think that's Lombardi in the slot on the left as well. He's going to go in motion and move over to the right. And Marinopolis fakes to Munoz watch, throws and almost intercepted in the end zone. Braden Bush had it in his hands and dropped it.
Oh boy, they're going to be kicking themselves. Braden Bush had terrific coverage on Lombardi. Didn't give him much room, and frankly, Marinopolis also underthrew it a bit. Almost right in the hands of Bush. Maybe he was surprised that it came right to him, but he couldn't hang on to it, and it's going to be 4th down, and the Engineers are going to elect to go for a field goal, something they haven't done often this year.
This is a 22-yard attempt from the left hash. McDougal is a right-footed kicker. Monteith on the hold. RPI is short a guy. They're going to snap the ball, and it's up, and it is good, but we've got a flag on the play. That was McDonald running out?
Yeah, they were short a man, and at the last second, Vinny McDonald, I don't know if he saw it or if someone told him to go.
Prior to
at the last
prior
second,
to
he
the
ran out
snap,
onto the field
RPI
to try
called
to
their second
make sure the
timeout.
Engineers had all 11 players out there. He got about halfway.
Timeout.
Okay.
I think that's what they just said. The flag got picked up, and RPI called a timeout. Okay, because what's happening is he's running onto the field, and if he's got any forward progress at the snap, that's a penalty. That's an illegal motion. That's a penalty. So he could run out onto the field, and as long as he stopped before the snap, they were okay. But now you're running into a whole bunch of hurt here, so RPI took a timeout. The kick had been good, but it doesn't count now because of the timeout.
So we'll do it one more time. Again, from the left hash, kicking left to right, which if you're familiar with the layout here is through the closed end of the stadium here on the Troy campus. Just 22 yards, so certainly within range.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, RPI has 11 out there right now. So a 22-yard attempt. Snap, spots down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. With exactly 7 to go here in the first half, RPI retakes the lead 10-7.
Well, a good solid drive by the Engineers, much like their first possession. Can't punch it in for the touchdown this time. They have to settle for a field goal, and frankly, they were a little bit lucky to get that. As you recall, occurred on the 3rd down play. Braden Bush for the Yellow Jackets could have had an interception in the end zone. The ball hit him in the hands. He just couldn't hang on to it. Lucky break there for RPI. They end up going for the 22-yard field goal, puts them ahead 10-7 with 7 minutes to play in the half.
Have to get points.
Marinopolis so far 6 of 11 for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. So far the leading receiver, DJ Palmer, 2 catches for 34 yards. And the guy who's had the best day maybe all so far on offense for the Engineers, Munoz Watts, 8 carries for 60 yards, an average of 7.5 per carry.
McDougal to kick the ball. Penman and Monaco back deep. This is a low kick. Taken, goes through one of the up men, now taken at the 21, and that's going to be a slide down to about the 34. That was Monaco on the return.
Engineers defense coming back out to take a quick look at their stats. The leading tackler so far, Cam Youngener, with 4. Linebacker Joe Deptula with 3, and also defensive lineman Connor Ahern with 3 for the Engineers.
Monaco slide started at the 33-yard line.
I believe that's a 28.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The 28 is where they'll start out. 4 receivers, and Casey turns around, didn't see his running back, finally hands off to Varney, and he'll get out to the 35-yard line. That looked like a little bit of a confusion there in the backfield.
Interestingly, 13 carries so far for the Yellow Jackets, only 6 passes. We were expecting to be a little bit more 50-50.
Second down, Rochester throws. That is complete to Shinneman, and he's got it at the 42, and that's a first down.
He's down, although it looks like he's just shaken up, and he was kind of slow getting up there, holding his left hip or side area.
Yeah, he's limping a little bit as he goes off the field, so they did stop the clock. Ball's at the 42 for a first down for Rochester. Oh, there's an injured RPI player. Okay. So he's being attended to. The RPI defense, C.J. Schumacher, Connor Ahern, Josh Cohen up front, Magnus Womble, Cole McGrath, Austin Charles, Joe Deptula in the middle. The cornerbacks are C.J. Lyons and Chris Gomes. The safeties are Francis Perry and Spencer Brockdorf.
That might be Womble. The numbers are a little bit hard to pick up because the Engineers are wearing their red jerseys with black numbers. But
yeah,
it is Magnus
Womble.
6'4", 225 graduate student out of Delaware. He's been a stalwart on the line for a number of years here for the Engineers, moving slowly, but he is on his own. He's not being helped off the field, just kind of limping a little bit as he makes his way to the sideline.
Coach Izernia out there with him. Chad Martinovich is the coach for Rochester, used to be an assistant coach here at RPI, and was the head coach at MIT and took them to the NCAA tournament a number of years ago, and shifted over and took the Rochester job. First and 10 Rochester at their own 42. 6:20 to go here in the first half. 10-7 RPI leads. Varney on the handoff. Gets 5 out to the 45-yard line.
And quietly, Sean Casey is starting to put together some good numbers passing for the Yellow Jackets. He's 5 out of 7 for 81 yards. Of course, most of that came on a 43-yard completion, which set up the touchdown, the pass to Liam McManus, which set up the 1 Yellow Jacket touchdown.
This is the 4th possession for Rochester today. Punt, touchdown in the first 3. There have been no turnovers in today's game. 3 wide receiver formation for the Yellow Jackets. Varney takes it on second down, and Austin Charles got in to grab his leg and stop him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, tripped him up in the backfield, fell forward to the 45. It was going to be 3rd down and 7 for the Yellow Jackets. Now going with a no huddle and trying to get out there and run a quick play. Or maybe not. Now they're stalling on what they're going to do, and everyone's turned to the sidelines looking for the call. It looked like they were going to try to get off something fairly quickly, but now changing the call based on what they see in the defense.
RPI does this. Sometimes you just want to lock the defense in and not let them switch. Casey drops back, has to throw under pressure, and that was a bad throw downfield because there was only RPI guys who had a chance at that.
Yeah, it never really developed it whatsoever for Rochester, and thanks in part to good pressure from the RPI defense, I believe. Let me double check my numbers here. Looked like that might have been Langford. 98, I think, was a number, putting some pressure on Casey.
4th down and 7. And the boot is away. It's going to hit at the 21. Spellman takes it at about the 12, 15. Spellman takes it about the 12, and it's going to be stopped at the 15-yard line. My numbers are all confused on that play, but RPI will have it at their own 15 with 4:44 to go in the half.
Fourth possession for the Engineers. So far, they've been pretty successful. You know, three drives so far. Two of them for a touchdown. One of them not so much. The second drive was just 6 plays and 16 yards, but by and large, the Engineers have kind of been able to do what they want on offense so far in the first half.
So we're 17. We'll call it the 17. Yes, that's what I wrote down. 17-yard line. 1st and 10 for RPI. Up by 3. Rochester showing a 3-man front. RPI with 3 wide receivers. Marinopoulos out of the shotgun. Gives Munoz Watts. Oh, no, pardon me. That's Burnett. Burnett goes to the right. Loses the ball. Ball's fumbled and recovered by Rochester. Rochester gets the recovery at the 14-yard line. That was Bush.
Braden Bush, number 20, the guy who could have had the interception just a few minutes ago in the end zone, falls on the ball for the RPI, or rather Rochester recovery. I didn't get the number of the guy who made the hit on Burnett, but boy, he made a good shoulder tackle right in the hands of Burnett, which forced that ball free. Bush was the guy who beat everyone to the ball. There was a wild scramble for the ball, everyone diving for it, and Braden Bush able to come up with it at the Engineers 14. First turnover of the day, and it could be a big one here. Rochester with a golden opportunity to take the lead for the first time against the Engineers.
Late in the first half, in the red zone, RPI, their own red zone, RPI turns the ball over. Rochester has a 1st and 10 at the RPI 14. And Casey fakes the handoff, gets away from his defender inside the 10. Casey's down around the 9. We'll call it the 9-yard line.
Nice read by Casey. He kind of was trying to read the defense to see whether to hand off or pull it back and keep it himself. He made the right decision to keep her when it's able to get about 5 yards there.
Varney's in the backfield. Pass, and that's a bounce pass. That doesn't count in football.
They were trying to set up the screen on the right side there to Monaco. He was a wide receiver that was at the 10. He had about 2 or 3 blockers in front of him. It could have been a good play, but thanks to pressure from RPI, Casey had to rush the throw, and as you say, he just bounced it into Monaco. That play was set up. It was ready to go for Rochester, but RPI forced Casey to hurry the throw, and he threw it right in the ground.
3rd down and 5 at the 9-yard line. Rochester has to get points out of this. They just tie it. That's good. Pass, and that is complete near the goal line. Yes, right near the goal line. Monaco got it near the 1, inside the 1. That's about as close as you can get without breaking the plane, and it'll be a 1st and goal Rochester.
And how the heck did he hold on to that? That's a really terrific effort by Monaco. He was covered all over. It was great coverage by RPI, but he was able to hold on to it.
Varney straight ahead, pushes into the end zone. That's a touchdown. Rochester takes a 13-10 lead.
RPI excited at the end. I don't know if they think they got the ball free, but I believe the touchdown had already been called.
Yeah.
He had clearly gone across the line. I couldn't see it here. Maybe he lost it once he was in the end zone, but he very clearly, at least from our vantage point, got through off the right side and in the end zone for the touchdown, and the first lead of the afternoon here for the Yellow Jackets.
It was obvious to me because the official came in before there was any discussion of where the ball was, and
right.
He had his arms up. It was clearly a touchdown. Bomb brace out to try the extra point. Snap, spots down, kick is up. It is good. 14-10, Rochester leads with 3:54 to go in the first half.
And how often is turnovers the key to any game, and we're seeing that at least in the first half here. One big turnover, RPI fumbling the ball, and Rochester taking over at the Engineers 14, punching it right in. A 1-yard run by Varney puts the Yellow Jackets up 14-10. And now, for the first time, the Engineers are trailing. We're going to see how their offense responds here. They've got 3:54 to play in the half, so there's plenty enough time to do something. And short of that fumble, they've actually been pretty good at moving the ball all afternoon.
RPI will get the ball to start out the second half as well. So who does RPI have back deep right now?
I believe it's McDonald on the far side, perhaps. It's, again, they're red jerseys with black numbers, folks.
Yes.
Sometimes they're hard to see. And I believe that's Walker Sutton near
Yeah,
side.
I think so. Kick by Bombrace is going to go to Walker Sutton at the 2-yard line. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Walker Sutton stopped at the 30. So RPI's got 70 yards to go. 3:47 left to go here in the first half, and RPI trailing by 4. Well, we talked before the game, you know, people aren't really sure what kind of team Rochester has.
Yeah, and RPI's dominated this rivalry over the last few years, and Rochester came in at 1-2, but it looked like a sneaky 1-2. They played Brockport really well. And I keep going back to one of the little comments Coach Isernia made in the pregame interview with you. He said that Rochester was able to have full workouts last fall and spring without even playing, and he felt that was to their benefit to be ready for this year.
Flag on the play as it was 1st and 10 at the 30 for RPI.
Delay.
Delay of
Offense.
game against RPI. RPI only has 1 timeout left in this half. So the ball goes back to the 25. It'll be a 1st and 15 for RPI. I just heard the coach talking on the sideline. We have not played good defense. You can hear things a little bit better with a slightly with a less of a crowd here. At 25, and Munoz Watts takes the handoff, and he's out to the 31-yard line.
Munoz Watts, 9 carries for 66 yards, arguably the best offensive player for the Engineers here in the first half.
Clock's still running, 3:20 to go in the half. RPI is not in a rush right now to run plays, it seems. 2nd down and 9 at the 31-yard line. RPI only has 1 timeout left. They had to burn 2 earlier this half. Pass that's complete to Munoz Watts near the 32. Gets away from a tackle, 35, and he's down at the 40, and that should be a 1st down. Petrozello had a chance at him. He got past him, makes it to the 40, and that's an RPI 1st down.
Boy, a nice combination of hitting the brakes and using a little bit of the stiff arm to get around Petrozello and keep going enough for the 1st down. Again, Munoz Watts has had arguably the best first half offensively for any of the Engineers.
You are listening to WRPI Troy with Engineer football from the East Campus Stadium. Kurt Studd, Yancey Roy on the call for you. Marinopolis to pass. Throw that's complete to McDonald. He's out at the 45 and gets hit right as he's at the out-of-bound marker by Weirin. So he picks up 6 on the play. It'll be a 2nd and 4.
Down to 2:35 here in the first half. Engineers down 14-10. They've got enough time to move the ball downfield, but maybe need to put a little bit more urgency into their efforts here. Not that much time left, and not exactly speeding to take the snap here.
Play clock's down to 5 seconds. RPI is going to send Goldsmith in motion to the left. And Munoz Watts takes the carry. Somebody grabbed his arm, and he was able to get away from that near the 50. I think they're going to say he's on the 50, and that'll be a 1st down for RPI.
Looks like someone also momentarily grabbed his face mask, but quickly let go, and there was no flag. Is that when he spun around?
Down to 1:50 to go in the half as the sun is peeking out in Troy. RPI down by 4. 1st and 10 right on the 50-yard line. Marinopolis looking downfield. Finds, no, it goes through. Well, he found McDonald. It went through his hands, and it goes incomplete.
McDonald's at the 35, and he was open. The Yellow Jackets defenders playing a good 3 or 4 yards off him. Marinopolis just sailed that throw a little too high, got off McDonald's fingertips, but he couldn't pull it in.
Stops the clock with 1:31 to go in this first half.
I'm sure McDonald will say he should have had it, but it was also kind of high, and he had to go up for it.
Two receivers to the left, McDonald's alone to the right on this 2nd down and 10 play. And the pass was, incomplete. It looked like it was complete to Munoz Watts, but he lost it, and the officials rule that's an incomplete pass, not a fumble, so the clock stops with 1:26 to go in the half.
Yeah, Rochester read that play well, and they converged quickly on the screen. Simon Weirin, number 7, a defensive back, making the hit, which forced the incompletion. But didn't really fool Rochester at all on that one. Third and 10. Do they keep the drive going, or do they have to punt and give it up here in the waning moments of the first half?
Two receivers each side. Munoz Watts in the backfield. Marinopoulos has to step up in the pocket, throws, and that is complete to the 30-yard line. Breaking free to the 25. Walker Sutton is down, tackled from behind. Where are they going to put him? It'll be a 1st and goal RPI at the 10. Was that the bonus who got him?
Well, the main part of that was that the Rochester defender, or I didn't get the number, I think it was number 7, Simon Weirin, kind of went to try to break up the play, reaching around to knock the pass down, but it put him out of position.
We got a flag on the play as it was 1st and goal from the 10. Play stopped. Legal procedure against RPI.
False start. Offense, number 51, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Knock the pass down or even go for the interception. Well, he made the play for it, but he came up empty, and then that left the RPI receiver with just a lot of room to roam all the way down inside the 20 for the Engineers.
So Walker Sutton got down to the 10, 1st and goal, but RPI takes a false start penalty, and now they're back to the 15. 58 seconds left in the half. RPI down by 4, 1st and goal at the Rochester 15. Marinopoulos looking right. That's McDonald's side, and McDonald came down with it. Is he inbounds? Yes, touchdown. RPI with 48 seconds left in the half.
Boy, Marinopoulos put that deep in the right corner, almost near the pylon. There was only one man who could come up with it, and that was McDonald. The coverage was not bad by Rochester. The defender was right in McDonald's face, but it was thrown so high that the only guy who could get it would be McDonald, going high up in the air, coming down with it just inbounds, maybe a step inbounds, getting his foot down for the touchdown, and the Engineers with a last-second drive to retake the lead here in the first half.
McDougal out for the extra point. That is up and good. So RPI makes it a field goal difference. It's RPI 17, Rochester 14 with 48 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, quite a turnaround there, Kurt. It was 3rd and long for the Engineers. Looked like they might be forced to punt and give the ball up here. But the key play was that the play right before the touchdown, where Simon Weirin, the Rochester defender, kind of went for the interception, didn't come up with it, came up empty. It ended up being a 35-yard pass play, a gainer down to the 10, which eventually set up the touchdown pass to McDonald in the right corner, right in front of the near pylon, and the Engineers are back out on top, 17-14. Yeah, that was a 40-yard gain on that key 3rd down from the 50 all the way down to the 10. Again, set up a little bit because Rochester gambled for the interception, didn't come up with it. Ended up being a 40-yard gainer for the Engineers, and eventually resulting in a touchdown.
McDougal to kick off for RPI. Low kick, taken at the 25-yard line. 30 and 35 is it. Rochester will take over at the 35 with 43 seconds left in the first half.
Well, are they going to go for it, try to move the ball down the field, or just run out the clock here? The one thing we've talked about early in the game is that Rochester has some really tall receivers. Several guys 6'3", 6'5". I mean, if you wanted to take a shot downfield, you've got some height advantage for the Yellow Jackets. So will they do that, or are they just going to be content to maybe run the ball twice and go into halftime down by 3?
RPI's got one timeout. Fake the handoff to Varney. Throw, that's complete to the 40-yard line, and that was Shinneman on the reception. Maybe the 41. Clock is running, 30 seconds left to go in the half.
So do you run out the clock or do you throw the Hail Mary here? Not a lot of urgency shown by the Rochester offense.
They don't have to run a play. If RPI doesn't stop the clock, Rochester doesn't have to run
And
a
they
play.
might not, yeah.
Or they might wait until it's down to 2 seconds.
2 seconds, yeah. Just
snap
throw
it
up.
and see what you can do. 5 seconds left. They'll snap the ball. Varney's going to take it straight ahead, and he stopped at the 44, and that'll be it for the half. They'll go into the locker room. 30 minutes are done. It's RPI 17,
That's
Rochester
the end of the
14.
second quarter.
17-14 Engineers at the half. Was the first half that was, the story here is big plays, big plays. For Rochester, they had a 43-yard completion to set up their first touchdown. They had a fumble recovery at the RPI 14 to set up their second touchdown. The Engineers have been a lot more methodical in their attack, being able to move the ball, but they themselves got a big play right at the end of the first half, the 40-yard completion from Marinopolis to Walker Sutton, setting up first and goal at the 10. Eventually the Engineers score. It's been a real entertaining first half as they go to the locker room. RPI 17, Rochester 14.
And RPI, the last 2 times these two teams played, RPI shut out Rochester in games that were not even that close.
Right.
And I remember the last time RPI was at Rochester, it was a pouring rainstorm as RPI ended up with a shutout that day in a game that was, well, it wasn't the best environment to be playing football in, and it ended up not being a very interesting game. So this game has certainly gone differently than the most recent games.
Rochester definitely improved from the last time these two teams met, and they're in a real dogfight. There's no cakewalk today for the Engineers.
Okay, time for us to take a break. It's halftime. We'll give you an update on what's going on in the Liberty League. The score here, though, after one half, it is RPI 17 and Rochester 14, and you're listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Serving up smiles every season.
RPI Pep Band will perform the alma mater.
Oh shit. I was like, man, I was like, who's saying hello for like the last like minute?
I know. I'm like, I better not be talking Where's everyone else at?
I don't know.
I just called Mike. He's like, oh, I've been trying to do my hair. I'm not a fan.
cooks up the freshest handcrafted food daily.
What you been doing all day?
Huh?
What you been up to all day?
I just woke up. I just woke up and came here. Seems like everyone's dead dead.
Yes.
Hey, Kate.
RPI cheer team.
Gotta have the whole important crew up there, you know? What's up? Gotta have the whole important crew up there. Oh, fuck no. No, they definitely probably got some personal chef up there or some shit. You're gonna text you right when you got shit to do, though. You're gonna text you right when you got something to do. As they did. Or was you? Oh, really? Yeah. Huh. That's good that they hired her.
Yeah, she seems good. She seems like she's good. Mother up.
No, not at all. Good for, what's his name, too? Rightful. Yeah.
Maybe like the first weekend of Travis.
One being on this side. All right. Then yeah. No, 2-1-3. 2. Hold on, 1-2. Not anymore, we are. That's what I was talking about. There's like 2 of them. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. Yes. Try that again. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm really not. I haven't been able to see really well. Huh. Are we talking about that? What? Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
We got it. And free popcorn.
Wow, these guys wanted to hit first half. Quiet.
Fresh energy.
Looking good, Fred. Looking good. Keep it sharp. Let's keep it clean.
Wow. We were wrong. Hot dog for breakfast?
Yep. Breakfast, lunch,
No receipt.
hot chocolate. Hot chocolate.
Hey, that's no receipt. Yeah. I haven't even seen him.
I forgot all their numbers already.
Super nice guy. I didn't know he was.
We are live with you once more here at the East Campus Stadium on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, where we are nearing the start of the second half of action in today's Liberty League football matchup, RPI versus Rochester. That sees RPI with a 17-14 lead at the half. My name is Kurt Stott. I'm here with Yancey Roy. We're bringing you all the action live on WRPI Troy. Before we get started, I forgot to mention in the first half to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of Engineer football, hockey, and baseball. And also WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and you can listen to our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as we're sending something on the air, we'll provide it for you on that feed. That is WRPI.org. So it's 17-14 RPI. RPI scoring a touchdown late in that first half to take the lead. They will be getting the ball to start out the second half. Rochester left to right, RPI left to right, Rochester right to left across your radio dial in this second half to start the second half.
Rochester getting set to kick off. They'll have the slight wind advantage. It's coming a little bit south to north this afternoon, maybe 7 or 8 miles an hour. It has been helping the kickoffs in this direction in the first half. We'll see how we get underway in the second half. We'll get you some of the first half stats as soon as we get past the kickoff here as we get ready for action. Again, second half kicking off, RPI leading Rochester 17-14.
Bomb brace, boots it. And it'll be taken Walker Sutton at his 4-yard line. 5, 10, middle of the field, 15, 20, 25, and stopped at about the 26.
Well, looking at the first half team stats, RPI leading most of the offensive categories. They lead in first downs 12-7. They lead in rushing yards 96-62. They lead in passing yards 131-95. RPI's George Marinopoulos in the first half, 10 of 17 passing for 131 yards. Sean Casey for Rochester, 7 of 11 for 95 yards.
First and 10, RPI at their own 26, up by 3. 3 wide receiver formation. Marinopoulos hands off to Munoz Watts, and he'll get across the 30, and he's out to the 33.
Continuing down on some of the individual stats, Delano, Munoz Watts, probably the best performance offensively by any engineer in that first half. He ran the ball 11 times for 77 yards, or rather 10 times for 69 yards. Sorry, they were just adding on the other carry just now. He also was active in the passing game, 1 catch for 9 yards for the Engineers.
Second and 3, ball at the 33 for RPI. Conboy